Well, everybody, welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League full playthrough in Strat-O-Matic. We are still on the April 25th date. We are at game number 117 overall, and we find ourselves in the Metrodome. It is the California Angels against the Minnesota Twins. Look at our pitching matchups. Willie Fraser is on the mound for the Angels, and Mike Smithson is on the mound for the Twins. Homerdome, even more so for singles. Hello, Jack. How you doing? Even more so for singles. Lefties are 1 to 16, righties 1 to 13, home runs 1 to 11 for both. Minnesota enters the game 8 and 9. California enters the game 5 and 12. Smithson's pitcher-catcher interface, he's a +7, so +5 is as high as you can go. That's what his hold rating is. Willie Fraser is a +2, and then you add the +1 from Weiniger, makes him a +3. So both teams might be looking to run. Hello, Ben. How you doing? Wild pitch and balk. Smithson's a 7 on both. Frazier's a wild pitch 14 and a balk of 2. Let me go to my Strat-O-Matic game board here to get the official numbers for you for the starting pitchers for both games. Smithson enters the game. He is 1 and 1. ERA of 4.50, 18 innings pitched, 18 hits, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. And as I look at Willie Fraser's number, now Fraser had been pitching in the bullpen a lot. So this, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's done both actually. So he's 1 and 1 with an ERA of 3.95 is Willie Fraser. 14 innings pitched, 16 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So there you have that. Look at our lineups. Brian Downing, the designated hitter. Rupert Jones in left. Devon White in right. Wally Joyner at first. Jack Howell at third. Butch Weiniger catching. Dick Schofield at short. Gary Pettis in center. And Mark McLemore at second, bats ninth. For the Twins, interesting mix of lineup here. Lombardozzi gets the game off, so Al Newman's going to lead off and play second base. Randy Bush is in right. Puckett's in center. Herbeck's at first, Gaetti's at third, Smalley the DH, Brunansky in left, Gagne the shortstop, and Tom Nieto will be doing the catching. So I think we're just about ready to go at this point. I wanted to try to get this game on at 9 o'clock, so I think we're just about right there. Eastern time, I specify. All right, so finishing up the warm-up tosses will be Mike Smithson. Smithson, the right-hander. And on the mound, or at the plate rather, is going to be Brian Downing. And Downing is the designated hitter. He pretty much was resigned to designated hitting in this portion of his career. Downing is hitting .319, 6 homers, 13 driven in. And game number 117 and also April 25th is underway. We had a 3-7 for Downing, and that's a walk. Leadoff walk for Brian Downing. Although the +5 is tempting, Downing not very good at getting a jump, so he will not go anywhere. He will stand pat, but he will take the free pass. And that'll send it over to Rupert Jones, getting the start in left field. Havoc roll. That's a 1. I know it's hard to see on here, but that is a 1. So the wild pitch chances of Smithson are a 7. 1 to 7, he uncorks a wild pitch. He does not. It is blocked by Nieto, so we keep going. That's a 2-11, and that's a ballpark single check, which is a 1 to 16. That's a 2, so it's definitely going to be a single. The Homer Dome, it's called the Homer Dome, but it's according to Strat-O-Matic, it's even more so to give up singles. So, and that may be because the outfielders are playing deep to avoid the doubles, and and balls fall in front of them. I don't know what the reasoning is, but that's what they've got. And also, I think very limited foul ground has something to do with that as well. So here's Devon White, and he is in right field for this game, hitting .260, a homer and 4 driven in. Nothing on the Havoc. Twins rather, could use a double play. 5-6 switch hitter being left. 5. That's not a double play. That's a ballpark blast. And 1 to 11. That's a 19 though, so it will not be the ballpark blast. It will be a fly ball to right field, and there's one away. And Downing, who doesn't run all that well, will not test the right fielder arm. So 1 down, and here comes Wally World. Wally Joyner, first baseman. Joyner hitting .292, 3 homers, 7 driven in. Hello, Craig. How are you doing? Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. It makes me at least happy that the $50 I spent was worth, wasn't a waste. All right, so nothing on the Havoc. Here is Smithson to Joyner, 4-6. That's trouble for Smithson. 1 to 14 is a double. That is a 14. It's a double 2 stars, though. So Jones has to stop at second base. Scoring is Downing, and the Angels take a 1-0 lead. So California now putting the pressure on. Twins infield is going to play in with 1 out. And third baseman Jack Howell is your batter. Jack Howell hitting .286, no homers and 2 driven in. Infield is in for the Twins. Try to choke that run off. And we get a 5-9 left-handed, and that is a strikeout and a big one too. Smithson needed that one in the worst way, and he got it. So 2 down, and now we're in a clutch situation for Butch Weiniger. Infield back to normal. Weiniger is hitting only a $125 in 48 at bats, no homers or runs driven in, so he has really struggled. Really struggled to start the season. That's a 5-4 switch hitting main left. That's an in-home run straight up, but he has weak power, but it will still be a 2-run single. Still a 2-run single from Butch Weiniger, and that's going to give the Angels a 3-0 lead. Would have been a 3-run homer, but he has weak power. But the Angels will take it. They take a 3-0 lead. And here's Dick Schofield. Smithson now trying to shake this off in hopes that his team will score some runs in his behalf. 2-10, and that's a fly to center to end the inning, but damage done. California kicks a field goal, puts up 3 runs on the board. Go to the bottom of the first. It's California 3 and Minnesota coming to bat. And the recipient of these runs is Willie Fraser, right-hander. Fraser, again, 1-1 with a 3.95 earned run average. And leading off will be Al Newman. Newman hits 192 so far in the replay. He hit 221 in real world for the whole season. So 192 is not too far off. No homers, 5 runs driven in. That's a 6-7. Switch hitter batting left. That's a ground ball shortstop X. And we have our very first fielding chance of the game. Ground ball shortstop X. The shortstop in this case is Schofield. He's a 2. 2 and a 2. That could be trouble. Shortstop fielding. A 2 and a 2 is a single. We'll check for an error as well. Whoops. We will check for an error as well. His error rating is a 12. So we're looking at an error chance at 15, 3, and 18. And there's none of that, but it will be a base hit. So the single is good for Al Newman. Sneaks it right past Schofield for a base hit. And back come the Twins. Newman could get the lead on a 2 through 8 or a 10. He would be caught on a 9. If he got the lead, it'd be a 15. Minus 2 for being held would be a 13. Plus the 3 would be a 16. So they're going to try to get the lead. Needs basically anything other than a 9, 11, or 12, and he'll do it. That's a 6. He gets the lead. So Newman will go, again, 15 minus 2 for being held is a 13. Plus 3 is a 16. 1 to 16, he's in there. And he's in there with a possible throwing error on Weiniger. Weiniger's T rating is a 4. And Weiniger throws it away. So Newman steals second base and goes to third on the throwing error by Weiniger. So the Twins coming out aggressive, and it pays off. As Newman now takes third with nobody out. With a 3-run lead, the Angels will play back, and they will allow the run to score in order to get the out. Randy Bush is up. He's hitting .283, a homer and 5 driven in. Nothing on the havoc roll. 5-10, and that's a ballpark blast. That's a 15, though, so it's going to be too high for that. So instead of a ballpark blast, it will be a sacrifice fly to right field. So Randy Bush doesn't get the home run, but he does get the sac fly. And that will put the Twins on the board. Cuts the lead to 3-1. And now here's Kirby Puckett. Hello, Mr. Robert. Puckett on the replay hitting .290, 2 homers, 6 driven in. 1-7, and Puckett will single. So it's a base hit for Puckett. And we'll see if Puckett, to get the lead, needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. And he gets the 5, he will steal. 15 again, minus 2 is being held as a 13, plus the 3 is a 16. Last time Weiniger threw it away. This time he won't. He's actually caught Kirby Puckett. So Puckett got a little over aggressive. And Schofield put on the tag, and that's going to be the second out of the inning as Kirby Puckett gets caught stealing. Trying to teach Kirby that crime does not pay. So that empties the bases for Kent Hrbek. And Hrbek is hitting .283, 5 homers, 13 driven in. 2-7 for Hrbek, and that is a 1-11 double. That's a 1. It's going to be a double, 2 stars. So had Puckett stayed where he was, would have been second, third, 1 out. But that's not what happened. So it's a clutch situation for Gary Gaetti against Mr. Fraser. Not the best pitching matchup, so I do expect a lot of runs in this game. We could be here till 11 o'clock. I don't know. 1-7. 1-7 for Gaetti. 1-15 is a home run. That's a 19, though. It'll be a double. Won't be a home run, but it will be an RBI double for Gary Gaetti. And the lead is cut to 3-2 here in the first inning. You wonder how long the starting pitchers will last. Here's Roy Smalley, shortstop. Or not shortstop, but DH in this game. Hitting .205. No homers, 7 driven in. That's a 2. Possible balk or pass ball. That's a possible balk on Fraser. His balk rating is a 2. There is no balk, so we drive on. 3-8 for Smalley, and that's a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. But the Twins counter the Angels' 3 runs with 2 of their own. And after 1 inning of play, it is 3-2. Hello, Kenyon. How you doing? 3-2 ball game. Here in Minnesota at the, sometimes called the Baggy in the Metrodome. Smithson has to regroup. He gave up 3 runs in the first inning. And now he's going to be facing bottom of the order, Gary Pettis, McLemore, and then Downing. So leading off will be Pettis. He's hitting .344. No homers and 9 driven in. That is a 1-6, and he's going to fly to center. Puckett will put it away, 1 down. 1 away, and that's going to send up Mark McLemore. It's a 5-11. That's a ballpark single once again for a left-handed hitter. That's a 16. That's a base hit for McLemore, courtesy of the Homer Dome. So McLemore is aboard. He's going to be trying to get the lead. Needs a 4, 5, or 6 to get that lead. He does not. He's got a hold. And that'll send up the top of the order for Brian Downing. 1 out, and McLemore being held at first. Hit a 3-6, and that's a walk. So Downing will draw his second walk of the game. Both at bats or both plate appearances have been walks, no official at bats, but he's been on base twice. So 2 on, 1 out for Rupert Jones, who did single his first trip. Twins looking for the DP. 3-8, and they get the DP right on schedule. Ground ball, second base A. It's a 4-6-3 double play, just what the Twins ordered. And that will get them out of the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second. Still 3-2 in favor of the Halos. And leading off for the Twins will be Tom Brunansky, followed by Gagne and Nieto, bottom of the order for the Twins. Brunansky hitting .281, 3 homers, 7 driven in. 6-9, and that is a line out to first base. Snagged by Joyner. Hard hit ball, but right at him. It was an atom ball. And here's Greg Gagne with the spoon. And he is hitting .359 and 39 at bats. 2 homers, 6 driven in. 3-11, and that's a line out to third. So that one's snagged over there by Howell. 2 hard hit balls, but 2 atom balls and 2 quick outs. Brings up the number 9 here, the catcher Tom Nieto. Nieto hitting .270, no homers, 2 driven in. 4-9, and that's going to be a split chance on the super advanced. 1-4 is a single, 5-20 is a line out. That's a 7. So a line out to short. So look at that. 3 line outs in the inning. Line out to first, third, and short. And that's it for the Twins. 3 up and 3 down. And we go to the third. Still 3-2. Favor of the Angels. Yeah, Ben, whenever he's when he gets his next start, we may have that. So that's a Chris Bermanism for sure. All right, here's Al Newman. Newman singled, stole second, went to third on a throwing error by Weiniger, and scored on a sacrifice fly by Bush. Hello, Scott. How you doing? 4-7 for, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be Newman. That should be White. My bad. What am I doing? It's not inter-squad. So it is Devon White leading off. 4-7, and that's a single to center field for Devon White. And he's looking to run as well. Needs a 3, 4, 5, or 6 to get the lead. Does not get it. That's a 1, possible pickoff. He's a 13. His safe range is 1-13. On a 1-13, he gets back. 14 or higher, he is picked off. And he gets back just in time, but he cannot get the lead, so he has to hold. But at least he gets back without being picked off. And now that brings up Wally Absorbing Joyner, who doubled his first time up. 4-3, and that's a fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Brunansky. He's a 2. 2 and a 17. He will get that easily. E4, he's got to avoid. Let's get the E4 avoidance for the outfielder. Oops, wrong page. That was the pitcher page. Let me get the outfielder page. Okay, so left fielder a 2 and a 17 is an F3. And now as an E4, he has to avoid 3, 4, 15, and 18, which he does. So it's a good play for Brunansky. He makes the catch, 1 away. And that will bring up Jack Howell. Nothing on the Havoc. 1-9 for Howell, and that's a 1-8 triple. 9-20 is a double. That's a 2. It's a triple for Jack Howell. White would have probably scored on the double anyway with his speed, but he scores for sure on the triple. And the Angels just add to their lead. It's now 4-2. and they threaten for more with Howell at third base and 1 out. The infield's going to have to come in for Butch Weiniger. Weiniger actually had a RBI single his first time up, despite struggling on the season. That's a 2-8, and that's a ground ball third base B. And with the infield in, I believe that the runner on a B, usually that's bad news in Strat-O-Matic. That usually means the runner on third is out at the plate, but we will confirm. Runner on third, infield in, ground ball B is a 7. Batter safe, lead runner is out. So there you go. Butch Weiniger is on the fielder's choice, but Howell is out, and that out will go 5-2 as Gaetti throws to Nieto, and Nieto applies a tag to Howell for out number 2, and a big one too. So fielder's choice, score at 5-2. If you're scoring at home, which you know you should be. And now there's 2 away for Dick Schofield. Schofield flew to center his first chance. Weiniger not being held on first. And that's a 4-6. And that's a walk, so the inning will continue. And you wonder how long they're going to, how long is Tom Kelly going, how long is that leash on Mike Smithson? Here's Gary Pettis. Pettis flew to center his first time up. .310 for Pettis, and that would be a single, but we are in a clutch situation with a runner at second and 2 outs. So that single now becomes a pop out to second base. So Gary Pettis chokes in the clutch. And that's going to do it for the Angels. They get a run, but that's it. Could have been worse. We go to the bottom of the third, 4-2, favor the Angels. And now Al Newman now will get to bat officially correctly. Newman, like I said, singled, stole second, went to third on a throwing error by Weiniger, scored on a sacrifice fly by Bush. 4-7, and that's another walk. Actually, it's the first walk of the game issued by Fraser. Last thing you want to do when you're up 4-1. But Newman had success trying to get the lead, so he's going to do it again. And it's a 2 through 8 or a 10. And that's an 8, so he gets the lead. And once again, it will be a 1-16. And he's in there, stolen base, the second steal of the game for Al Newman. He says, what, me worry about getting caught? No way. So Newman's at second base, and he will not be held. That'll bring up Randy Bush. Sacrifice fly his first time up. 1-8, and that's a strikeout for Mr. Fraser. So this time Fraser says down goes Bush. Kind of put it in reverse. So down goes Fraser, it's down goes Bush. Here's Puckett. Kirby singled his first time up and then got caught stealing. 4-11, and that's a fly ball right field excess. Devon White, he's a 1. 1 and a 9. 1 and a 9 as an outfielder is an F2, so I believe the runner has to hold with that. You may have a chance to move up to third. I'll have to double check the rule book, or not the rule book, but the opposite page here. So we're looking at an error rating of 9. So E9, he's got to avoid 3, 11, 16, and 18. And he does just that. So let's go to the F2. F2, fly out. There's a run on third. He scores. A run on second may tag up and try to advance. Computed safe chances as running speed plus outfielder's arm. Okay. Running speed plus outfielder's arm. He's a 15. Devon White, though, is a -3. That's a 1-12. And he's already in scoring position, so they're not going to take that chance. They're just going to hold him at second base is they really don't gain much. The risk is not worth the reward, especially with this funky D20. You never know how it's going to turn out. So here's Herbeck in a clutch situation. Herbeck doubled his first time up. 1-7, he will fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Twins. We played 3 here at the Dome, and it is the visitors, the California Angels, leading 4-2. And I'm going to take a quick look at the Twins bullpen on the Strat computer and see who's got the most rest or who needs to be rested, because they could be going to the bullpen pretty quickly. Looks like all their relievers are pretty fresh. I think somebody mentioned his name earlier. Juan Berenguer is soft tossing in the bullpen just in case. He would be the long relief man to try to eat some innings in case Smithson craps the bed the rest of the way. Here is McLemore. 2-2 for McLemore, and that is a foul out. Foul out to Nieto, 1 away. And that'll bring us to the top of the order for Downing. He has walked twice. 3-5, and he's going to walk again. He's walked all 3 plate appearances. So he has definitely figured out how to get on base via the free pass. And he, of course, will not be held, will not go anywhere. Rupert Jones hit into a double play his last time up. The Twins are hoping he repeats that. Smithson to Jones. 5-8, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2. And now that'll send up Wally Joyner. No, I'm sorry, Devon White, not Joyner. Joyner's on deck. White is your batter, right fielder. 1 for 2. 5-6, and that's a ballpark blast. White has normal power. It's a 1 to an 11, but that's a 17. So it's just a deep fly to right that Bush handles at the track. And Smithson breathes a sigh of relief as the inning is over. And the Angels do not dent the scoreboard any further. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-2. Favor of those California Angels. Fraser will be facing Gaetti, Smalley, and Bernansky. 4-2. Twins looking to rally and cut into this lead. 2-7 for Gaetti, and that's a good way to start it. 1 to 11 is a double. That's a 13. It will be a single. So Gaetti doubled his first time. He singles now. He will not be held. Actually, he will be held because he has the asterisk. You have to hold him or he would get the jump automatically. I don't know that they want to try to steal right here. If he got the jump, it'd be a 13. It'd be a 16, but we've seen lots of guys get thrown out with that. So they're going to have to hold him on, but they're going to not attempt to steal. So that brings up Roy Smalley. That's a 2 chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're checking pass ball chances now on Mr. Weiniger. His pass ball rating is a 2. So that's a 1. So it is going to be a pass ball. So Weiniger lets it get past him, pass ball. And Gaetti didn't have to worry about stealing because he just reached second on a pass ball. So Gaetti is at second base. He will not have to be held now because he's not going to try to steal. So they will not hold him. And now Smalley gets a chance with a runner in scoring position. Also takes a double play out of the equation. 3-9, and that is a ground ball shortstop A, and that would have been a double play without the pass ball. If that had not been a pass ball, that would have been a double play. As it is, just a 6-3 grounder with the runner holding. But that pass ball costs the Angels an extra out. Here's Bernansky. See what he can do. Try to drive the run home. 1-6, and he 1-9's a single. That's a 14. He's going to line it to short, and that's 2 down. And that's going to end up putting it in the hands of Greg Gagne. Clutch situation for Gagne. And against the right-handers, he loses a clutch hit on 2-8 and on 3-8. So not a good clutch hitter. But he's going to try to beat those odds. 4-6, and he draws a walk. So that will continue the inning on to number 9 man Nieto. Nieto line to short, his first chance. That's a 1, so it's a chance of a wild pitch. 1-14 is a wild pitch for Fraser. And it will be a wild pitch. It'll move both runners up. And now Nieto can tie the score with one swing of the bat. A base hit most likely would tie the score. So Nieto facing Fraser. 5-9, and that is a fly to center. That's going to end the inning. Too bad. 5-10 would have been a ballpark blast, would have been an automatic single, 2-run single, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't happen. And the Twins come away with nothing. We go to the 5th, still 4-2. And this is the fatigue inning for both starting pitchers. They both have a number 5. So we'll keep an eye on fatigue. And here's Joyner. Joyner 1 for 2 with a double. 5-9, and that is a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he hasn't reached fatigue just yet. Hasn't given up anything to start the fatigue process. So the strikeout is good. Here's Jack Howell. He has struck out and doubled. I'm sorry, struck out and tripled, and was thrown out on with the infield in on the fielder's choice. 2-2, and that's a walk for Jack Howell. That's the first ding against the point of weakness of Smithson. Howell will not be held, and here's Weiniger. Weiniger, 4-5, and that is a pop out to first base. Herbeck is there, 2 down. And that'll take it over to Dickie Schofield. Schofield flown to center and walked. So 1, so a chance of a wild pitch on Smithson, which is a 7. And it is a 7, so it will be a wild pitch. That will move the runner up into scoring position. It takes this at bat to a clutch situation now. So Schofield in the clutch will lose a hit on 3-9, lose a hit on 1-9 and 1-10. So it'd be ironic if the wild pitch forces an out on Schofield's card. That would be kind of crazy if that happened. 5-8. It's a fly to center to end the inning. So Smithson's at least going to pitch 5 innings. They may let him stay out there. He only has 1 ding against his point of weakness, so they might go ahead and go to Berenguer. They haven't decided on that one yet. Here's Fraser. Of course, his point of weakness inning is also number 5. And he'll be facing Newman, who has reached base twice and has 2 stolen bases. So see what Newman can do to maybe spark the Twins. He got 2 in the first. They've kind of been in the doldrums since. 5-4, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-12, but he has weak power. That's a 14 anyway, so it turns out better for him. It turns into a double instead of a single. So it's a double for Newman. He's reached base all 3 times. They will not hold Newman on. And Randy Bush is your batter. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Lease has to get the runner to third. 5-2, and he will not. Fly ball left field C. The runner's got a hold. So Bush goes the opposite field, but it was so shallow that Newman cannot move up. And that'll bring up Kirby Puckett, 1 for 2. Get to the heart of the order for the Twins. This is where they need to get done. 2-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop A. It's going to freeze the runner again. Two down. Oh, let me see here. I got something with the computer that didn't take, so let me go back and fix all this. All right, so Newman doubled, and then Bush flew to left. Just want to make sure I got everything accurate in the computer. And then a ground ball to short by Puckett, with Newman still a second. Okay, so now we're straight, and here's Kent Hrbek in a clutch situation. Hrbek clutch ratings. He gains a hit on 112. That's the only clutch I see. But he does gain a hit if he rolls a 112. So Hrbek versus Fraser. 111, he missed it by one number. 112 would have been a single. That would have turned this out into a single, but a 111, ground ball to first, and that's going to do it as Wally World steps on first, and the inning is over. So he played 5 innings, still 4-2. So it looked like it's going to be a slugfest, but the pitching has kind of taken over a little bit, or maybe it's insufficient offense, however you want to look at it. Smithson will come back out. He's facing the bottom of the order: Pettis, McLemore, and Downing. 3-3, and that's a fly to center field. So Smithson maybe getting a second wind, as he has turned things around over the last couple of innings. Here's McLemore. 6-11, and that's a ground ball first base X. We're looking at Hrbek. He's a 2. So Hrbek, first base X chance. First base X chance. Hrbek is a 2. 2-18 is a G1. He is an E6. Has to avoid 3, 13, and 18. And he does. So good play. And since it's on the X chart, it's going to go as a 3-1 put out, with Hrbek flipping to Smithson covering due to the difficult nature of the grounder. And there's 2 away. And here's Brian Downing. So Smithson trying to at least go 6. 3-2, and he's going to pop to third. He does go 6. So how about that? Smithson has rebounded, but his team has not given him any support. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 4-2. And Fraser back out. He only has 1 notch against his point of weakness. He'll be facing the G-man, Gary Gaetti, and then Smalley and Bernansky. It's a 5-7. Ground ball shortstop X. That is Schofield. So Mr. Schofield, a 2E12. So we're looking in column 2. Make sure he gets to it. He does. 2 and a 16 is a G1. The shortstop's on this side. E12, 3, 15, and 18. You got to avoid those numbers. And they do. E12, 3, 15, and 18. They did avoid it. So it's good play for Mr. Schofield. And Gaetti is out of there. 1 down for Roy Smalley. Next game in the 1987 replay on April 25th will be from Comiskey Park in Chicago. It'll be the Toronto Blue Jays against the Chicago White Sox. Pretty good pitching matchup, if I do say so myself. 3-0 Dave Steve is going to be facing 2-0 Floyd Bannister. So that will be the next game in the replay. And it will be game number 118 on the season. And that will be whenever I can get around to it. Probably Friday. All right, here is Roy Smalley. 1-6 for Smalley. 1-9 is a double. That's an 11, so it'll just be a single. Single for Smalley. He's aboard. And that'll bring up Bernansky. Certainly capable of tying the game with 1 swing of the bat. Got a couple ballpark blasts on his card as well in column 1. And he found column 1, but 1-8 is going to be a walk. And now one more batter on to reach base, and Fraser will be tired, so the California bullpen is loosening. They are loosening down there, and with some lefties coming up, switchers and lefties coming up here, they actually, I believe, have Gary Lucas, but don't let me see, make sure he's not tired. Could be Chuck Finley. See, Finley's there. Lucas. It's actually Chuck Finley loosening in the bullpen. Chuck Finley is your pitcher warming up for the Angels. Here's Gagne. First and second, one out. One more base runner. Fraser will reach fatigue. 4-8, and that's a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he hasn't reached the fatigue just yet. Strikeout is good. It's all up to Tom Nieto, and we're not in the 7th inning, so we can't pinch hit. That's the rule. That's my rule anyway. Can't pitch hit before the 7th inning. So Nieto's going to have to swing it. Clutch situation for Nieto. And let's see, he has no rating for clutch whatsoever. 4-5, it's off the pitcher cards. Pop out the third. That is caught over there by Howell, and that's going to do it. Fraser makes it through the 6th. We've played 6, and it's still 4-2. The last block of 3 innings have been scoreless, when it looked like it might be a 10-9 game. Now with Smithson, do you bring him back out, or do you cap Smithson right here? I believe the Twins are going to cap him there, and we're going to get Senor Smoke, Juan Berenguer, to come on in relief of Smithson. So I'll have to go to the Strat computer to get the totals on Mr. Smithson for his outing today. Smithson does get a no decision, so he's going to go 6 innings, give up 7 hits, 5 runs. Not when I say, I don't know why I say no decision. Somehow it's given. Oh, it is. Wait a minute. Why is it saying 5 runs? I don't understand why it's saying 5 runs. Something is mixed up in my Strat computer. I've got to go back here and figure out why it's doing this. I must have put something in wrong, because it's giving the Angels an extra run they shouldn't have. Let's see what's going on with this. A walk. Or maybe I didn't credit him with the proper thing here. Schofield. I'm going to have to go back and figure this one out, folks, because it just doesn't make any sense. I will have to score the rest of the game. I'll have to go back and figure out what. I'm not going to mess up the stream to do it. So I'll just have to do it manually the rest of the way as far as stats go. But I will get the numbers on. So 4 runs, they were earned. 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. And Berenguer is your new pitcher. And we'll get the numbers on Berenguer on his season replay to this point. Berenguer enters the game 0-0 and no saves, a 2.38 earned run average, 11 innings pitched, 12 hits, 4 walks, and 12 strikeouts. So Berenguer 0-0. And he will be facing Rupert Jones, Devon White, and Wiley Joyner, I think. Or something's really screwed up on this computer, because now I'm way off on my batting here. Something I entered correctly, so I'm just not even going to look at the computer anymore until I can go back and figure it out after the game is over, to figure out what I typed in wrong. So I'm just going to minimize that, and we'll just play it out from here. And I'll trust my trusty score sheet with what I see, because obviously I put something incorrect in the computer and it's got everything way out of whack. It's got even the wrong batters coming up. So not sure what happened there, but we'll fix it. It is 4-2, top of the 7th. Rupert Jones leads off against Berenguer. 4-11, and that's going to be a ground ball. Pitcher X. And Berenguer has an E rating of 13 and a range of 3. So 3E13 for the pitcher bearing Gare. 3E13. And of course I dropped my dice at the most inopportune time for that to happen. As I was trying to get the pitcher chart. So bearing Gare on a 3E13, 3 and a 3 for a pitcher is actually going to be a single. So they will single off of bearing Gare. E13, he's got to avoid 11, 13, and 17. So whatever happened to my third D6, I got to figure out what happened to that. When that fell, when everything else fell over. I had to go grab another D6, a backup D6 in the bullpen. So E13, he's got to avoid 11, 13, and 17. Which he does, but it will be a base hit. So bearing Gare unable to get to it. Unable to get to it. And that will be a base hit for Mr. White. I'm sorry, for Mr. Jones, rather. Base hit for Rupert. He will not be held. And here's Devon White. Bearing Gare to White. 3-7. 3-7 is a strikeout. And notice when I'd lost my blue die, I ended up getting 2 white dies, which is fine. We'll use the blue as the main thing and the white as the other stuff. So it's kind of reversed it a little bit. 3-7 we said was a strikeout. So White will strike out. 1 away. And that will send up Joyner. That's a 1-3 for Joyner, and he's hit by the pitch. So Joyner is plunked by Senor Smoke, and that'll bring up Jack Howell. We're getting a little bit of everything. Dice mixed up and everything. 6-6 against the lefty is a 1-13 double, 14-20 single. That's a double, 2 stars. And that will score Jones and move Joyner to third. So Senor Smoke, not the answer. Infield's going to have to come in. It's 5-2 Angels with the infield in and 1 out before the 7th inning stretch. Get a 5-8. That's a strikeout, a much needed strikeout for out number 2. And clutch situation now for Dick Schofield. Force the infield back to normal. But bearing Gare has to have this out. 5-8, and he gets it with a strikeout. So he actually struck out the side, but in between he gave up 2 hits and hit a batter. The Angels get a run, take a 5-2 lead as we go to the 7th inning stretch here at the Dome. And it's also going to be it for Willie Fraser. So we'll get the numbers on Fraser because with the lefties coming up, they're going to be going to a lefty out of the bullpen. And that lefty will be Chuck Finley. And Finley is 1-3 with a 7.45 earned run average. So in 10 innings, he's been struggling. So Finley, 1-3. Get the final numbers on Fraser. He qualifies for the win if his team can hold on. And he's going to go 6 innings, gives up 7 hits, 2 runs, both earned, walked 3, struck out 3. And now it will be the left-handed tossing Chuck Finley. Finley is on. Facing Newman, Bush, and Puckett, but we might get a pinch hitter for Bush. He does not hit well against lefties at all. Well, he does okay at lefties, but he only faced them 3% of the time in real world, so might be a little bit unrealistic to leave him in against the lefties. So they are going to the bench, and they will bring in Mark Davidson, and Davidson will stay in the game to play right field after he hits for Bush. So Davidson will replace Bush. He will pinch hit in the 7th, play left field in the 8th. But first things first, it is Al Newman. He's been on base every time. He's certainly not going to take him out. That's a 4-9. Switch everybody right-handed is a single. So Newman does it again. 3 for 3 for Newman. But down 5-2, they're not going to take a chance, especially with Finley's -2 hold rating. So it'd be a -1 overall. So if he got the lead, it would only be a 12, and they're not going to take that chance. And now here is the pinch hitter, Mark Davidson, to pinch hit. Davidson will pinch hit for the Twins, and we'll get Davidson's numbers on the replay. He's hitting .222, 4 for 18, a homer and 1 run driven in. So Davidson against Finley. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. Newman was being held, so the second baseman, McLemore, is responsible, which means he's going to go up a notch to a 3. So instead of a 2E22, it's a 3E22. So that can make a difference, especially if you get these pound signs. So he's in the 3 category. So he's got to get a number 9 or higher to make this play. He does. 20 is a possible double play. Second baseman Newman, second baseman McLemore is an E22. He's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. Those are the 3 numbers to avoid, which he does. It's going to be a double play. So how about that? 4-6-3. Neatly turned by the Angels. And Davidson grounds into the double play for 2 quick outs. And that'll bring up Puckett with 2 outs and the bases cleared. 3-9 against the lefty. Split chance. 1-6 is a single, but that's a 12, so he lines it to short. And that's going to do it for the Twins in the 7th. We've played 7. It is California 5 and Minnesota 2. Hello, GGG. Good to see you. Gary Pettis will lead things off. 0 for 3 for Pettis. 6-10, switch hitter batting left. And it's ground ball third base X. That will be Gaetti. He's a 1E12. We know he's going to get to it with a 1, so we don't need the D20. We just need to check for an error. And at third base, Gaetti is a 12. So he's got to avoid 12 and 16. Those are the 2 numbers to avoid. And he does. So it's good play for Gaetti. Retires the swift running Pettis for out number 1. And here's McLemore. .211 for McLemore, and that's a 1-3 home run, but that's a 12, so he's going to fly it to right field. And the new right fielder, Davidson, puts it away. I tell you, bring a guy in to play a new defensive position, and the ball ultimately will find him very quickly. So there's 2 down for Brian Downing. He's walked 3 times and popped to third. He's 0 for 1. It's a 1-7, and that's a 1-7 double, but that's a 12, so he's going to fly to center. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Senor Smoke. So he might be looking to finish the game out, save the rest of their bullpen for another day. And Finley's back out. He'll be facing Herbeck, Gaetti, and Smalley, or they might pinch hit for Smalley. That's a possibility. Although he is a .275 hitter, so they'll probably leave him in there. Here's Herbeck. He's 1 for 3. 5-8 is a strikeout. He's now 1 for 4. The Twins' bats have been a little bit silent. Other than the first inning, they haven't done much. Here's Gaetti. 2-7 for Gaetti. 1-6 is a single. That's a 1. It will be a single for Gary Gaetti. He will be held because he has the asterisk, but they won't send him. And here is Roy Smalley. Turns around and bats right-handed for the first time. 3-9, right-handed. He lines it to first. Wally Joyner is right there. Try to go opposite field, but Joyner there to snag it for out number 2. And now here's Brunansky, left fielder. Oh, Suadice. Let's re-roll that again. That's a 6-6, and that's a ground ball, second base X. And again, McLemore was holding Gaetti, so he goes to a 3. He becomes a 3E22. So again, he has to get at least a 9 or higher to get to this. And he does not. That's a 6. 6 is a G3 pound, but the pound already says if he's responsible for holding the runner, it turns into an SI2. So that's a single 2 stars for Brunansky, which will move Gaetti to third. But now we check for an error. And he is an E22, so he's got to avoid the 12, 17, and 18, which he does. No error on the play, but it is a single 2 stars. It's going to put runners on the corners for Greg Gagne. Gagne with a chance. Clutch situation for Gagne. Finley to Gagne. 3-7, and that's a strike. I'm sorry, 3-7 is a strikeout on this side as well. So there you go. Twins leave 2 more guys on base. We go to the 9th. It is still 5-2, California. Berenguer back out. He is not yet fatigued, so he can stay in there a little bit longer. Dan Gladden is on the bench. He will probably pinch hit for Nieto in the bottom of the 9th, most likely. Rupert Jones to lead it off against Berenguer. This is Berenguer's point of weakness inning. 5-9. Berenguer struck him out. So Berenguer puts the K on Rupert. 1 down for Devon White. 6-8, switch hitter. 6-8 is a walk. So not what he envisioned. Devon White going to try to get the lead on a 3-6. Although Berenguer is a -1 hold. So it's a +1 when you add in the catcher. So if White gets the lead, it would be an 18 -2 for a 16 +1 is a 17. So yeah, he's going to try for the lead. 3-6 gets him the lead, and he gets the lead, so he will go. And it is a 1-17 to be successful. And it's a 17 right on the number, so he just barely makes it. As the shortstop Gagne protests, but not to any avail. Devon White will steal second base, and that'll bring up Wally Joyner. White will have to be held at second base because of his speed. Here's Joyner. Joyner has had a double, flew to left, struck out, and been hit by a pitch. 6-6, and that's trouble for Berenguer. 1-13 is a double. That's a 15. It's a single 2 stars. But with the stolen base from Devon White, that will score the run. And that makes the score 6-2. 6-2. And that's going to be it for Berenguer. He can go no more. At least Tom Kelly doesn't want him to go anymore. And they will bring in the Colonel, Joe Klink, to kind of mop up the rest of the game as a left-hander. Joe Klink. And we'll get Klink's numbers on how he's doing. On the replay, he doesn't get to pitch very much because he didn't pitch that much in real world. He only pitched 23 innings. In this league, he is 0-0 with a 5.40 earned run average, 3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. So Klink will be on. He's a -4 hold. So the catcher is, yeah, it's a +2, so it's a -2. Not that the Angels are going to steal anymore, but you never know. So Jack Howell, he's had a double and a triple in this game. Looking for more. Klink to Howell. It's a 5-7, and that's a strikeout. So Klink puts the K on Howell. 2 down for Weiniger. Klink to Weiniger. 6-8. Switch hitter batting right is a single 2 stars, and that'll put runners at the corners. Angels may not be done yet. Here comes Dick Schofield. But Klink's the last hurrah. They're not going to waste another pitcher. Not with the score being what it is. It's already 6-2. No use wasting another pitcher. 5-5, and that is a walk. It's going to load the bases. So the bases are now loaded for Gary Pettis. Fortunately for the Twins, Pettis is not that great of a hitter. Klink to Pettis. 5-7, but he gets a single off Klink's card, which is good enough. Base hit. That will score Howell. Score Joyner. Weiniger, as slow as he is, he will hold. Just everybody moves up 1 base. It's now 7-2. That run is also charged to Berenguer. So Berenguer is going to come out of there with 3 runs allowed. Here's McLemore. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 5-3. McLemore switch hitter batting right-handed. Ground ball pitcher X. He is a 3-0. So we know he's not going to make an error, but he is a 3. So as a pitcher and a 3, he has to get basically a 4 or higher to get out of the inning. And he does. So it's a good play. It's a 7, so it's actually his only play is to first base on a G3. So it will go 1-3 for the putout. But 2 runs score. It is now 7-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Finley can certainly finish out this game and earn the save with 3 innings of relief. Let's get the numbers on Klink real quick because they're easy to calculate. 2/3 of an inning. And he gives up 2 hits and a walk. Got a strikeout. No runs allowed. The 3 runs were allowed by Berenguer. Berenguer is going to go by default 2 1/3 innings. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3 hits. And let's see, he's going to strike out 3 here, 4 here, and walk 1. So 1 walk and 4 strikeouts. But the losing pitcher, unless a miracle happens, will be Smithson. He will drop to 1-2. Fraser will improve to 2-1, and Finley's looking, I think, for his first save. So Tom Nieto is a scheduled hitter, but he will not bat, as Dan Mann from Gladden has picked up a bat and will come off the bench for the Twins to lead off. So Gladden will do the pinch hitting. Dan Gladden. And on the replay, Gladden, to this point, is hitting .321 in just 28 at-bats. 2 homers and 6 driven in. So here's Finley to Gladden. 6-8 for Finley, and that's a single for Dan Gladden. So Dan Gladden, a pinch hit single to start things off. With the score 8-2, with the score 7-2, they will not hold him on. And he's not going to, I don't believe he's going to, actually, you know what? He's going to take second base on defensive indifference. So he will take second base on defensive indifference because his run doesn't really mean anything. And here is now Al Newman. That's a 1, chance of a wild pitch. And Finley, his wild pitch rating, get that for you. Wild pitch rating on Finley is a 9. That's a 1. It's a wild pitch. So now Gladden's at third with nobody out. Like I said, that's a 2. Chance for a balk or a pass ball. Looking at a chance of a balk, and Finley's balk rating's a 13. And so he balks him home. How about that? A single, a defensive indifference to second, a wild pitch, and now a balk. That's an unusual way to score a run, but it's now 7-3. And now Newman is up with the bases cleared. 4-5, switch hitter batting right-handed is a walk. So now Finley may need some relief. He may not be able to finish this game. They will hold Newman on. They don't want to go through the same process again. And here's Davidson. He came in as a pinch hitter for Bush. And now Dwayne Miami Boyce is loosening the bullpen for the Angels. 2-6 against the lefty is another walk. And that's going to be it for Finley. He's not going to be able to get the save. They are not going to be. They were hoping he could do it, but he just start walking too many guys. They can't afford it. They don't want this one to get away. They really do not want this one to get away. So they're bringing in Dwayne Miami Boyce to try to get the save. Now let's get Boyce's numbers. He's a recent addition to the team. He's only pitched 1 game so far. He's 0-0 with a 0 ERA. 2 innings pitched, no hits, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. So Boyce is in to face Puckett. Try to stem this rally as much as possible. And let's see, I might need to move this over just a hair more because we're starting to get to the edge. Starting to get to the edge of where you can see the cards. So let's push this back a little bit so we have more room. And hopefully now that is looking pretty good. Hey, Brian, didn't see you coming in. Chuck, didn't see you coming in. Good to see you here. Better late than never, as they say. Absolutely. Well, you might be looking at a Twins rally. You never can tell. We started out 7-2. It's now 7-3. Still nobody out in 2-1. And Dwayne Boyce has come in to face Kirby Puckett with 2-1 and nobody out. Trying to wrap this thing up. That's a 4-11 for Boyce. That's a fly ball right field X. That's Devon White. He's a 1. Make sure he can get to 1 and a 4. That could be interesting. A 1 and a 4 is an F2. And let's check his error rating is an E9. And that's an 8. E9, there is no 8. This is an F2. But I think with a runner on second, they can't go anywhere. It's only a runner on third that can move up. So runners have to hold. Out number 1. And that'll bring up Kent Herbeck. 1 long ball, and this game gets very interesting. 2-4, and that's a 2-5 would have been a home run chance. 2-4 is a ground ball first base A. It's a 3-6-3 double play, and there is your ball game. So Dwayne Boyce comes in and does the job. And I believe he qualifies for the save. 7-3, 7-4, 7-5, 7-6 was the batter. 7. Yeah, he qualifies for the save because the tying run was on deck. Oh, I hate that rule, but that is the rule. So Dwayne Boyce will get the save. The win will go to Fraser. He'll go to 2-1 on the season. The loss to Smithson, he's now 1-2. And let's see, 7 runs and 3 there. Errors on the game. We had an error on California, on Weiniger for a throwing error. And I think that was the only error of the game. Only error I can see. All right, for hits, the Angels put up 12 hits for, let's see, get Finley and Weiss's numbers. Weiss goes 1 inning, gives up nothing. The run is charged to Finley. So Finley is going to go give up 1, 2, 3 hits, 4 hits actually. 4 hits given up by Finley. Let's see, he walked 2, struck out 2, and he ends up pitching 2 innings, two innings plus, because he made it into the 9th but didn't quite get there. So 7-12-1 for California, 3-11-0 for Minnesota. Fraser the winner, 2-1. Smithson the loss, he's 1-2, and Weiss his very first save of the season. Thank you, Rick. It was a pleasure to have everybody here, and I hope you guys enjoyed that game. If you're a Twins fan, it may not be that good. Twins fall to 8-10. California improves to 6-12. And again, the next game on the schedule will be in Chicago. It will be the White Sox and the Jays. Good pitching matchup. Dave Stieb against Floyd Bannister. And also Toronto comes into the game 11-5. Chicago comes in 9-5. That will be game number 118 on the replay. Long way to go, but we're not in any rush. We're going to take our time and enjoy it. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoy the team records. Like I said, Minnesota is now 8-10. California now 6-12. What I'll do is after the April 25th slate is completely done, then before we start April 26th, I will print out and show the standings for both divisions. So that's going to do it from here. Again, I hope you all enjoy the new setup. Hopefully now with this webcam, it's you get better quality. You don't. I don't think I have to worry about the focus going in and out all the time when I move something in front of the, move a chart or something, because this thing has autofocus on it. So hopefully all that is good to go. And I'm personally enjoying it. I think it's working out better for me on this and also on History Maker. And hopefully when spring comes around, it'll be that way for season ticket baseball as well. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, spending part of your Wednesday night with me. Again, final score, Angels 7, Twins 3. If we had to give a player of the game, could give it to Fraser, I suppose, if you wanted to, from the pitching side of the house. From the batting side of the house, let's see. A couple of guys scored some runs. Nobody really did anything extraordinary. I mean, Howell tripled and doubled, but he did have 1 run batted in, but I'm almost inclined to give it to Fraser, because Fraser went 6 innings, gave up just the 2 runs, and held a powerful Twins lineup to just 7 hits through 6 innings. Brian, you did not know that I have a webcam now. Did you not know that? I thought I've had it for a few games now, but I thought you had known that. But anyway, it is. I'm very frugal as well. This was on sale for $50. I figured I'd take a shot and take a chance. And if it didn't work, it didn't work. But hopefully now it is, and that way I don't have to worry about my phone being, or the stream being offline if a phone call comes in or a focus issue. There's a lot of things that can happen that aren't good when you're recording on your phone. Too many troubles can happen. Your battery can die down, and you get a phone call coming in that can interrupt the stream. There's a lot of things that has happened to me in the past doing on my phone. So I'm hoping that this will alleviate some of that and also give a better quality product on what I'm doing. I'm thinking about getting a better microphone, but I'm thinking that the sound is still okay with the headset I have. And I don't see any reason to really upgrade to a big expensive microphone unless you guys are like unable to hear me or something, which I'm thinking you can hear me okay. So anyway, Brian, I hope you haven't missed too much of the Reds replay. They've been doing very well. Of course, they've been playing the Braves, so that's kind of helped their record. They've won 4 in a row. They're now 7-3 through 10 games, but now they're going to be taking a trip to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies for a quick 2-game road trip in Philadelphia. Jose Rijo will be pitching game number 11, first game of that Phillies series, and then after they play the 2 there, they go right back home, and they got a 3-game set with the Expos right after that. So looking forward to that on History Maker, and of course, looking forward to continuing this replay here in Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced, and on the Strat computer. I'm just going to cancel the game on the computer and have to I'm going to enter it manually after the fact, but it's just to go back and have to undo so many things. I don't think it'd be worthwhile myself. So looking ahead at the schedule, the last remaining games there are now 2 games left on the schedule for April the 25th. One of them I just showed you was the Toronto-Chicago game. The last game we played on April 25th will be the Yankees and the Indians. That'll be Rick Rhoden against Scott Haybales. And once we finish that, then the April 25th games will be over. And I will print out the standings before the first game on April the 26th. And once April 25th is done, we will be through 119 games. With probably, I don't know how many games there are in this whole replay, but it's quite a bit, I'm sure. So that's what we have. We have White Sox and Blue Jays, and we have Indians and Yankees. And then we'll be done with April the 25th, and we'll move on to April the 26th. And as I look at my schedule for April the 26th, it's all the same teams still playing each other. Interesting pitching matchups. We're going to have Roger Clemens against Charlie Huff in the Texas-Boston game. That's an interesting matchup. Jimmy Key and Jose De Leon in the White Sox game. Bert Blyleven will pitch the next game for the Twins against Urbano Lugo with the Angels. So Bert Beyond Blyleven will start for the Twins in their next game as he tries to get the team to rebound from their loss. So that's what we got going on there. And like I said, I do appreciate all you guys tuning in. Your clues about History Maker. There's several. I've done a couple tutorials, and I know Al Wilson's done one, and Steve Towers done one. So there's several out there if you are curious about how to play that game. But if not, you can just watch it for the entertainment value. Be just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I need to go put this in the computer the right way and make sure all the stats are kept correctly, because something happened where I typed something wrong and I didn't catch it, and I'm probably 2 innings doing something wrong on the computer, right on the score sheet wrong on the computer. So I want to fix all that and make sure everything is straight before I go to the next game. So that's good from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, how you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.